Some hack job mounted this on a standard vent, atmospheric venting water heater, and almost killed the customer. A regular A.O. Smith water heater with a power vented assembly put on top of it. Just rested there. They had it plugged right into that outlet, and they took all the gas controls and put them on the regular water heater controls. So today, me and Peter are swapping this out for a real A.O. Smith power vented heater. They need power vented in here because it's under negative pressure. This room, it's a return. So we got the heater over here. We just hooked up all the hoses. Peter's getting extension cords so that we can turn our pump on and drain the water heater out. But just used silicone to adhere it together. It's pretty nuts. You can see it's rusting all along the bottom because this is just not what it's designed for, and it's also old. They took this off of the old water heater, and you could see we were here, wrote down dangerous because A.O. Smith themselves said that this water heater cannot be run this way. It's a huge hazard. And that's why the venting is starting to discolor right here. So, looks like we're also going to be replacing the venting with 2-inch PVC because it just goes out right there. You can't really see it too well. But you could see kind of it ends off right in there. You can't really see it, but that white is the outside. So we'll probably keep the 3-inch PVC there and run the 2-inch through it, just because, why not? Okay, so as you can hear, we have our pump draining out the heater, and I got the relief valve popped open. That way it's not pulling too hard. Gravity's also able to do the work, and it's not pulling a vacuum by pulling the water out without air being able to get back in. And we'll cut the PVC, we'll disconnect our gas union, and once we get this out of here, we'll bring the new one in and reconnect everything. And as it drains out, I'm disconnecting the gas, but you can see they just use white Teflon tape here, which that's not okay. We'll fix that. We'll put pipe dope there. Pipe dope only, no Teflon. And he does want to keep this water heater because he did just buy it. So we're going to leave it here, but I am taking these controls off because I don't want anybody ever trying to use it as a power vent. I think maybe they're going to use it for parts if their uncle's breaks down or something, because he has the same one, but he wants to leave it here, so we'll leave it here for him. He paid for it, it's his. Peter just made a first cut on that PVC, and he's going to just pull that whole fan assembly off, because that's going in the garbage. Gonna have to cut a tie up there. And I'm going to work on taking this off. Okay, so we got that hooked up how it should be. And now we got to cut our copper connections. And because of all this sloppy solder, I'm going to have to cut back a little bit further so I can press onto clean copper. So I'll have to redo these elbows. But it is what it is. Okay, and we got it out. We got our cuts made. We'll clean those up and deburr for our new connections. But here's the heater. Is it under the hand truck? He's gonna get it under the hand truck. And ready? And we're just gonna put it off to the side somewhere in the basement for them, since it is so new. It's a shame that they did it this way. So we put the water heater over there, and that's where we came from, right where Peter is. So it doesn't look too bad, but our stairs is going to be a little bit tight with this being so close, but should be fine. And that's our door to outside. So we'll get the water heater unboxed and try to bring it down. Okay, so here it is. This was already opened, but we carried it down. We didn't bother with the hand truck, and we kind of just slowly slid it down with Peter at the bottom, and we cleared perfectly. So we'll unbox it down here and get it all set up and bring it around the corner. Peter, grab the pipe dope too. Yeah, pipe dope. There's some down there. Oh, okay. So, cut back a little bit more on these to get rid of that one solder point, because why not? I'll Teflon these. And we're in place. Just got to work on the venting, figuring out what exactly we're going to do. I'm actually going to have to bring it towards me a little bit, it looks like. But we'll see what I can do with that. We have to do. Okay, so one thing I'm using for this, because it's really tight here and I can't get a whole roll of Teflon tape, I wrapped it around a marker in the wrong direction. That way I can wrap it around the fitting in the right direction. And make sure to cover almost all the threads down to the bottom, and 5 wraps, and trying to keep it tight so it doesn't push away once I put the fitting on. So there's 5 wraps. I'm also going to put a little bit of pipe dope, and we'll be using brass since this is steel and this is copper, and it needs a brass fitting there so it doesn't cause like rusting and issues. Okay, so we have our 2-inch piece right there, and it reaches. I just pushed it out of the way for the time being because I'm going to put an elbow in here and measure out a length of 2-inch. But we got all of our piping in and ready to go. Drip leg 2, so Peter's going to press everything. Show you how easy it is working with the press tool. No soldering. Just make sure that those are all in. Push them all in tight. Around to this side, make sure that's down all the way. Now, give this pipe a little bit of a spin. I'm pushing on it just to make sure. Okay. You can see that we did clean that old one up too. And there we go. So now that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 connections done in less than 2 minutes and 30 seconds as opposed to soldering. But I'm gonna work on the gas now. You can see we're a little bit off. I am gonna use a T with the drip leg, and I'm gonna put this right off of that T with a close sniffle. I'm gonna change out this rusted union too. And Peter's gonna get the PVC all set up. So first what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that elbow, you're gonna glue it in to this piece of PVC up here, and then push them in really tight, twist them a little so they set, and then you'll measure what piece you need for here, because you can move this up and down. But yeah, so I'm gonna get the gas put together, which I'll need both hands for. Okay, so Peter got the venting done, and we're pressurized, filled with water. We have no drips on any of our connections, so that's good. Now, for the gas, this is what I had to do. I couldn't fit a 3/4 T in here because it brought it too close to the tank, and that's the shortest possible nipple. And I don't have a street, so I had to use a reducing coupling down to my 3/4 drip leg because I didn't have a 1/2-inch cap to do a 1/2-inch drip leg. So it is what it is, but it works. It's all nice and tight. We got our 1/2-inch union there. So I can open this up, and we'll use a leak detector on these, and we'll also use some soapy. We'll do a leak detector and also soapy bubbles. But now, with everything connected, this is tightened too, Peter? Mm-hmm. Everything connected and tightened up, we can plug into power. And here's our control. Turn it on, and I'll go to B. And we get our inducer motor kicks on and blows right outside. Our pressure switch will sense that, and as soon as it senses it, we'll get ignition for our pilot. And I just heard the flame go on, so I'll open this up so I can show you. And right down in there is our flame. You can see our flame sensor, that tall metal rod, and our hot surface igniter, which is the one that's glowing red at the tip. But our main burner is that round assembly right there, and we're heating. So we'll make sure this heats for a while with no errors, but we'll start cleaning up. We'll do a pressure test, and we should be all set. It's GPVT-50 200. Now you can see the difference if you look at this heater with its current controls and the fan on top. You can see how it's screwed in here. It fits here nice and perfectly, and I'll show you that compared to what was on the other heater. Actually, that's in the garbage, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so, but I'll show the other heater again. So it's a similar gas control, but you can see there's a lot less wires coming into it. Those were going into like makeshift reused parts for the fan control, but you can see there's no tappings here to screw anything in. It's just a diverter would go here. That way it could divert the flue gases up and out. And if you want to see the model number on this, it is an XCG50. So completely different heaters. This one is not meant for, what do you call it? Forced air venting, power vented. Okay, while the tank heats up, I'm heading back to the van because, like Mike got, I also got a flammable gas leak detector pen. The brand is Torpedo, and they want me to use it in the real life scenario and show if it works, how it works. Now, I have used it 2 times, and it did work. For last time I used it, there was a leak. I used this pen first, which is the Torpedo pen, and then I used soapy bubbles, which I'm gonna have here today too, and it showed me the leak properly, so we'll see what happens. So first thing I'm gonna do is outside, I'm gonna calibrate it, turn it on, it'll go through its calibration cycle, and it's nice and small and compact. PT210 gas leak detector by Toptes. Comes with Duracell batteries, which are already in there, and a nice easy removal cap to swap them out. And once this is finished loading, I'll walk inside and we'll see how it is. Okay, so I'm down in the boiler room. It's not beeping, and it just has that one bar, which means it doesn't detect anything. So here are all of my connections, and I'm going to put it at each connection. And if it beeps, then I have a leak. I care most about the union because sometimes unions leak, or I've had them leak before. But I'm going all around every joint. And this is showing nothing. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my soapy bubbles and just spray it all over. Spray it on every fitting. Every fitting that I did. And I'll smear it around there with a paper towel. I'll clean it up after too. Maybe I'll just smear it around with my finger to make sure I get all around all the joints. And let's see, show as much as I can, but I don't see any bubbling at all happening. So seems to me that it's working. It didn't detect any leaks, and I don't have any leaks here. Maybe we'll find a leak with it to prove that it does find the leaks too. But there it is. Power it off and good to go. And another thing I just got is this expensive label maker. So I can put nice labels on things. For this one I put installed 10, 27, 22. That way if anyone ever calls for something under warranty and wants to know how old it is or when it was installed, it'll have a nice sticker right above the pipe doctor sticker, which I'll put on. Still got some cleaning up to do, but here's that sticker with the installed. Just a nice touch. And Peter insulated all of our near heater piping. And you can see we're still running and heating. But overall, I think it came out very nice. And if you're curious, here's our outside vent termination with no screen in front of it. Last time I contacted A.O. Smith, I was having issues with the power vent. And when you use 2-inch, you can't put a screen in front of it or it messes with the pressure switch inside. So this is how they recommend to keep it. Okay, so we're just walking out now, collected payment, had them sign a tax exempt form for capital improvement, but Peter got spring rolls. I think they made spring rolls, so that's pretty cool. I didn't want one. I'm always hesitant to eat food that other people have made. Not to be disrespectful, but I don't want to get sick. I have a sensitive stomach. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. If you did, like the video, comment any things you would have done differently. I'm sure I'll get comments about the gas piping, but subscribe, and thanks for watching.